The grid for race number 5 will be based on the results of their race earlier on. Now, it was Freddie Chiddicks who led home race number 1, but he got a 10-second penalty for a false start, which dropped him down to 7th place. Such was the closeness of the battle at the front. So it's race winner Charlie Lower, number 21, who starts on pole position. Alongside him will be number 73 of Matt Larby. Second row, 29, last year's Academy Group champion Rog Patke, alongside 15 James Cook, the Flying Welshman, proudly flying the Welsh flag on his car as well. Row 3, number 35 Mark Kendall and 14 Jonathan Ramsey. Freddie Chiddicks penalised down to 7th place, starts alongside the number 2 of Mark Jones. Row 5, 96 Peter Mott, watch out for him from the back of the grid in race 1 to finish 9th alongside 51 Simon Arnold. Row 6, number 10 Gareth Lucas, who saw a bit of smoke from his car in race 1, starts alongside the 45 David Rook. Row 7, 71 of Charles Perry and 49 Stephen Lancaster had a quick spin in the first race. 17 Alex Vincent on row 8 alongside number 84 Joe Priday. He had a great battle with Alan Venters in race 1. The 74 starts on row 9 alongside the 44 of Ian Summers. The final row, number 22 Louise Deason and 23 Alan Bateman.
Yeah, so Alex Vincent finding himself in 15th there. I think he started in 5th place or thereabouts from the grid, so he was one of the bigger losers from that. So let's keep an eye out for Alex Vincent coming back through the field.
He was another to get a false start penalty.
There you go.
Vincent and Stephen Lancaster were the other two.
There you go. So it was. So he is definitely out of position, and he's got all the work to do again. I had a very brief chat with Matt Larby after race 1, and his welcome to 270 after Academy last year. He was yes, very excited with the racing that was on offer. But yes, it's great to see them back out there. Charlie Lowe inheriting that win over Chiddicks then, and Rog and Freddie, taking it over from Larby and Patke taking the 2nd and 3rd, and then Cook and Kendall. Kendall was there or thereabouts all the way through in his green machine, wasn't he? Every time he dropped away a little bit, he was able to get it right back in there. So let's look out for Kendall, seeing whether he can make it happen. Jonathan Ramsey hanging on in there in that race all the way through, but he did finish ahead of Chiddicks after that penalty. But can see the road sport cars there. The 270 cars are coming up to line up there on the grid, all looking at each other. Interesting as the marshals get them into their correct grid slots.
Impressive formation sprinting from our marshals there to get them into line. Fair play to them. It's pretty warm here at Oulton Park today.
It is perfect racing conditions. Like I say, a little bit of a no real breeze, but what area there is, it's a little bit cool, so the engines are going to be loving it. As we can see, the green flag is just about ready as Alan Bateman just lines up on the grid there.
Yes, Bateman starts at the back alongside Louise Deason in the pink, white and orange liveried car. Very smart looking car indeed. It's the dark grey and blue number 21 of Charlie Lower in pole position, courtesy of his win earlier on. The 73 of Matt Larby, the black and blue car with the red wheels and roll cage alongside him. Then Rog Patke in the pink and black on row 2 alongside the 15 of James Cook. We already know how we can recognise the Welshman's car with the Welsh Dragon on his car very prominently. 35 is next, that's Mark Kendall in green and black. Jonathan Ramsey in the grey and red car completing the 3rd row of the grid. 20 cars out there. Looks like they are all back out there after race number 1 earlier on.
Chiddicks, yeah, fine. So 7th place. It's certainly, well, as long as he can make it around this first corner, as we've seen a couple of times today, that can be tricky to get around that first corner. But 7th place is definitely not out the mix, and he's going to take Mark Jones there with him, who started quite a long way down for him. He's normally up there competing at the front of the grid, so him getting used to this new car. Let's see whether Mark Jones in the number 2 car, it's a grey paddle-up car, can come through from 8th place starting grid. But Charlie Lower and Matt Larby, Rod Patke, fully ensconced in that battle all the way through race 1. Will it continue that as we go into race 2? I am pretty convinced of that.
So a 20-minute race coming up then. Race 1 was an absolute belter with 7 cars battling it out at the front of the field. It was as high as 9 at one point, the lead draft, if you like.
Very unusual for these drivers to have this multi-race format in a single day. They're used to doing a race, then going home, having a bit of a think about it, wake up the next day with a new attitude and go again. Today they've got to do that 3 times. Remember, they're doing 3 20-minute races this year in the 270s. That's brand new for all of these drivers, and it really is something they've got to get their head into. It's to build up your adrenaline ready to race, and then for it to drop again and save energy before then having to build it all back up again as we see them weaving to clean their tyres on the way down the hill.
Caterham racers live on adrenaline, as you know, Chris.
Absolutely, but there's only so much your body can deliver, and Oulton Park's going to take every single last drop today. But what a sight that is. You can see the lake to the left there, to the left of Knickerbrook chicane as they're heading out and around.
Yes, through the right of Knickerbrook and Hislops, named after motorcycle legend Steve Hislop. And it's up towards Clay Hill, Druids, Lodge, Deerleap, and the end of the lap. The lead cars will be coming around to the grid very shortly, headed by Charlie Lower. He's keeping his Avon tyres nice and warm.
Fantastic to see these cars then as they're heading out. You can see the weaving going on. That's just to make sure that their tyres are nice and clean and clear of any debris as they head off around. You want obviously to get some temperature in there, but equally to say if you get dust on your tyres, then you definitely want to clean that off. So you'll see them weaving just gently left and right as they head down into this final corner then. Onwards down. So who are we going to see win this race? Charlie Lower would certainly take some of the best bets. He sees the more experience of the drivers around him. James Cook, though, does come up into that 4th place. And yeah, we wouldn't bet against Freddie Chiddicks making a fight back. He's got a point to prove. And remember, they've still got one more race to go this afternoon after this one is complete. So let's see who can make the best of this second of the 270R races today.
In position then on the grid then, the last few cars just moving into line. Matt Larby with his best chance of a graduate victory here from the Academy, moving straight up into 270R, as has Rog Patke, the man on row 2 of the grid. Watch for Freddie Chiddicks though, he'll be fired up after that penalty in race 1. Down on row 4 of the grid, he's going to try and rip his way through the opposition in the early stages. So red lights are on then, ready for race 2 of the Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship, and away they go down towards Old Hall for the first time. Charlie Lower gets away well from pole position. We had a collision on the grid there, unfortunately. A bit of bodywork goes flying, didn't quite see who that was from. Up the inside there, the 35 car of Mark Kendall. I think they've all got away okay there after that bit of contact. It's Lower who leads, Patke's into 2nd place. It's the number 15 up into 3rd. Matt Larby is the man who's lost out there. He's dropped back to about 6th place. He
didn't pick up off the line very well. He seemed to get the 1st gear right, but I think maybe the 2nd to 3rd gear change, which is quite problematic sometimes in the stressful situations. And I didn't see who lost that wing, but it certainly pinged quite high into the air, didn't it? But it looks like they all continued anyway, as we see then Charlie Lower take them and lead them round ahead of Rog Patke. Then we got Cook and Kendall up into that 4th place. So Larby has got a bit of work to do now. He's fighting in and around Chiddicks.
Yes, Freddie Chiddicks is moving up behind him there. I think it's the number 14 of Jonathan Ramsey who's got up into 5th position. In fact, we'll check that in a moment, but it is through Britons for the first time. Charlie Lower who's got the lead ahead of Rutledge Patke. 3rd place is James Cook, then the 35 in 4th. That's Mark Kendall. Down the hill they come. Patke moves to the outside, looking to lead a race for the first time this season. Doesn't quite manage it. Charlie Lower holds him off as they swing their way into Knickerbrook for the first time. It is the number 14 of Ramsey, the Lancashire driver, in 5th position. So Freddie Chiddicks is still down in 7th. There's the man who lost the wing. It's number 10
Gareth Lucas.
Of Gareth Lucas. We saw him in a small spot of bother at the start of race 1, the car emitting some smoke.
He would have only just put that wing back on, and now it's been pinged ceremonially off. But there is a change for the lead. Rog Patke up the inside, although Charlie Lower had in the quad lock car had the momentum around the outside and managed to hold on. Remember, he's got the higher level of experience, and now Rog Patke is going to be consumed by Cook and Kendall. Kendall moves himself nicely into 2nd place there as Cook takes in that 3rd place, and now it's going to be Larby around the outside to see whether he can now get back fighting with Patke. But there's Ramsey as well getting involved. It's all kicking off again.
Great move there by Mark Kendall to move up into 2nd place. The red and yellow striped flag is out on the pit straight to warn the drivers of a bit of debris there from that start line collision from Gareth Lucas's number 10 car. It's lost the wing. It's Lower who leads from Kendall. 3rd place now it is James Cook. He's got ahead of Rog Patke. Here comes Larby down the inside. He takes the number 14 of Jonathan Ramsey into Cascades. Along the lakeside they go up towards Island Bend, then the Shell hairpin. It's Charlie Lower looking for 2 wins out of 2, but Mark Kendall a much better start this time in the number 35 car. Great move around the outside at Lodge to take that 2nd place as they head up into Shell hairpin. Cook tucks in behind him, then it's Patke, the 73 of Matt Larby. He's followed by Ramsey, Chiddicks and the rest of them, and the group we saw fighting for the lead in race 1 hasn't been able to break away yet this time.
Not yet, no, but we are seeing Charlie Lower with a little bit of a gap. Remember, we saw Kendall drop back just touch every now and again in the last race, and it looks like Charlie Lower may be able to make make hay while the sun shines on that one, but they're leading off back down the hill then. Roger Packy in 4th place, Matt Larby just behind him, and Chiddix is gone packed through against Ramsey there to get back into that top 6.
Roger Packy heads this group through. Next in the order behind Chiddix was Mark Jones in the number 2 car. There's that number 10 of Gareth Lucas, the car missing a wing. He's got, I think it's the 71 car, and also the number 49 of Steve Lancaster, the citrus yellow car, in that scrap with him as they head round to complete their 2nd lap this time. A long way to go yet in this Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship, race number 2 of the day and of the season. There's Lucas side by side with Lancaster into Lodge Corner. It's the move stick on the inside there. That's the battle a little further back for 11th position. They bounce their way out of Deer Leap. Leaders complete another lap.
Yeah, and here we go, side by side then. That's Kendall just on the inside, having a little look, wasn't he? But there's Lower had the momentum around the outside, but that's going to allow Cook to have a head of steam as they head down into Cascades this time. He's going to have to drop back in, but all this is helping Charlie Lower at the moment. Just break that little gap. You can see just balancing the rear end of this car. They don't have the limited slip differential, but they've got the wider track front and stiffer suspension all round, which makes these cars really race focused. Certainly a step up again from that Road Sport, which we've just seen out on track.
Matt Larby having a look there at Roger Packy, the old academy rivals in 4th and 5th position. They've got Freddie Chiddix coming up behind them. He's got ahead now, I think, of Jonathan Ramsey. Yes, he has. Ramsey has dropped back into the clutches of the likes of David Rook. We're seeing the Scotsman move up the order. That's the red car there. He's now up into 8th position. He's got ahead of I think he's got ahead of Jonathan Ramsey now. We'll check that in a moment as they come through Britain's for the 3rd time. It's a crocodile for 2nd place, but Charlie Lower has been able to eke out a slight lead here. He comes over the top. He's about 3 or 4 Caterham lengths clear of Mark Kendall in that 2nd position. Here comes James Cook having a look on the inside into Knickerbrook. Also at the inside is Matt Larby, chased by the 66 of Freddie Chiddix, and Roger Packy loses 2 places at Knickerbrook. Next in the order it is indeed David Rook. The rest of them come through. Lancaster's lost a couple of places in there as well. There's a nice little battle going on towards the back. The 84 and the 74, that's Joe Pridey and Alan Venters. We saw them scrapping in race 1 as well. Really
opportunistic move by Freddie Chiddix there. He saw that Matt Larby was fully committed up the inside, and he just put his car right where Roger Packy didn't want it to go, and therefore made it a stick. A great move there by Chiddix, showing his class out there, but he's still following on behind Larby. They are going to be fully involved in this battle as we see Ramsey side by side with Rook. And remember, Rook and Cook was the often erstwhile call last year. His friend is a little bit further up the field though, so he's still got some work to do, but he's doing going in the right direction.
And he's gone into 2nd place, James Cook in the number 15. He's going great guns here as Ramsey goes side by side with David Rook, takes the place back again into Old Hall. That's the battle for 7th place. This is the fight for 2nd. Cook ahead of Kendall down the avenue into Cascades, a little bit sideways there on the entry, and the 2nd place car of Cook has run wide.
He was struggling to keep that. He got onto the dust on the outside of the corner and just wasn't able to pull it back down to the inside. So we're going to see Kendall back up the middle there. And Freddie Chiddix has made the most of that. He's going to get back up into 4th place, I think, now.
Yes, Chiddix making the most of that move, as you say there, Chris. He was on the right place there as James Cook ran wide. Matt Larby and Roger Packy weren't, and Chiddix able to get the line right, and he's up into 3rd place. He wants to make up for that disappointment earlier on. The Boss Racing driver, after that penalty as he took the flag in race 1. He's up into 3rd place now, having a go at Kendall for 2nd place. There's Cook down to 4th after a mistake through Cascades. He's got Matt Larby in the blue car on his tail. Over hilltop they come. Here comes Chiddix trying to make a move on the 35 car. Easy as you like. He goes through up into 2nd position.
Just got the exit, didn't he? Absolutely nailed on, and then the toe helped him out up and over the hill. Kendall also, if he's got his brain engaged, will think that Freddie Chiddix is the man on the move. He can take us back to Charlie Lower. Kendall's been dropping back very slightly, and I know Chiddix will be very sensitive to that, because those kind of gaps can really quickly develop if you're still in a battle.
Jonathan Ramsey coming under pressure now from Mark Jones. It's Peter Mott, number 96, who completes the top 10 currently as the 2nd place battle heads through now, as right out with a wheel on the grass there. Mark Kendall trying to retake 2nd from Freddie Chiddix, trying to get down the inside here. Won't quite do it. Freddie Chiddix holds him off as they swing through Lodge Corner into Deer Leap. 4th place is Cook behind them. Matt Larby has got a watching brief, just being kept there in the 73, the blue car. Down towards Old Hall they come for what will be the 5th time. New fastest lap for Freddie Chiddicks, 1:55 rather, 0.834 down the avenue.
Let's keep an eye on that gap between Chiddicks and Lower and just check that it is going to come down over the next following few laps. I think we're visually going to see it coming out down, but again, Chiddicks just missing the apex there, a little late apex, and it's not going to help him down this straight as they head towards Island Bend. You can see we just pick them up as they appear there, but about a 90-mile-an-hour corner for them around Island Bend. In fact, 99, so nearly 100 miles an hour as they go around Island Bend. It's a really daunting proposition, but here we go. See whether Chiddicks can do anything about that lead that Lower's got, and it looks like at the moment, yes, he can.
Yes, indeed. He took about 6/10 of a second out of him on last lap. Chiddicks doing the fastest lap of the race. There's Rog Patke. We haven't forgotten about him either. He's down into 6th position, trying to catch back up to fellow Academy graduate Matt Larby as they come over the top. Down the hill, Charlie Lower is now having to defend because Freddie Chiddicks is now right with him. It's going to be a repeat of the battle in race number 1. We've got a race on our hands now at the front of the field as we come up towards half distance in this Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship race. 3rd place is still Kendall ahead of Cook, Larby, Rog Patke, again Ramsey, Mark Jones, and the rest of them. David Rook is down to 9th. There's the rest of them coming through. That's the number 17 of Alex Vincent chasing Gareth Lucas. There's battles everywhere you look. It looks like David Rook may have had some contact in there. I think he's dropped down the order. We
said to watch out for Alex Vincent to see whether he could make it through the field. He just clipped the inside grass there, which sent his car a little bit sideways, but he was making good progress up to 12th place the last time across the line. Side by side then for this third place battle between Cook and then Kendall, with Matt Larby watching on. He's kind of seeing that gap develop, whereas it's a new thing for him to try and work out what we want to do. And you can bet your bottom dollar that Charlie Lowe was looking in his mirror and had a little bit of a sigh to himself as he saw Freddie Chiddicks right there ready to battle. They are side by side for the lead. Chiddicks has the momentum around the outside, carries his boss machine around the quad lock as they head down now into Cascades. Freddie Chiddicks leads from 6th on 7th on the grid.
Brilliant move there by Freddie Chiddicks. That's the 4th driver, I think, that's pulled the outside move into Old Hall Corner. 3rd place is still held by Mark Kendall, the green car with the blue roll cage. As they head along the lakeside towards Island Bend. Charlie Lower's not finished yet, trying to retake the lead. Now here comes Matt Larby, 4 of them fighting now for second. He's got past Cook, he's got past the 35 of Kendall as well, so Matt Larby back into the top 3, and Kendall now coming under fire from Cook as well. Rog Patke hanging on to their coattails in 6th place.
Just as I said, Larby was having to be careful of not to lose contact with these cars in front. He did exactly what he needed to do. He dispatched with those other 2 drivers. He puts himself into that 3rd place and see whether he can now close the gap to those lead 2 drivers.
Just over 9 minutes of this race to go here at Oulton Park as they 2 leaders head down, and Chiddicks has taken the lead away from Charlie Lower while that was going on. So Freddie Chiddicks has taken the lead from 7th on the grid. A great move through at Old Hall Corner around the outside. He's come through from 7th on the grid to take it up. There's the battle further back in the order for 7th place. It's Jones and Mott now fighting it out a little bit further back. Yes, David Rook has dropped back, and Jonathan Ramsey must have had a moment as well, just looking at the timing screen. He's dropped down 10 places on that last lap.
Yeah, not ideal for Ramsey, who's been part of this battle all the way through. Interesting as well, as soon as Freddie Chiddicks got into the lead, you can see how it has stretched this field out. Him and Charlie Lower working together has absolutely spread this lead pack. You can see the speed that those 2 have in their car. They're also used to racing each other. Whether they'll race together, I don't know, but at the moment they've got enough to pull away from Larby.
Side by side across the line, it was Chiddicks who led at the line by just a few thousandths of a second. He's just about got the inside line there. Lower will try the sweep around the outside. He gets 2 wheels onto the curb, but Chiddicks holds him off. Matt Larby is now just 1.3 seconds further back in that 3rd place, ahead of Kendall, Cook and the rest of them. Rog Patke has dropped a little way back into 6th position. 7th behind them is Mark Jones, then it's Peter Mott, then Gareth Lucas, and the 51 of Simon Arnold rounding out the top 10. Here's a battle towards the back. This is Louise Deason, the number 22 car, fighting it out with 44 of Ian Summers at the tail end of the field. This is the battle for 18th position. It's the 23 of Alan Bateman who's behind them.
Yep, Louise Deason there heading that battle as they go in, but we've got to dive down the inside there, side by side. So the side by side battling is not exclusive to the front of the field, all the way down as we rejoin that lead battle, with Matt Larby looking visibly closer and bringing Kendall back into the mix as well. So the battling we've seen for those front two drivers has now allowed those chase group to close back in again.
Side by side down into Knickerbrook, and Freddie Chiddicks retakes the lead around the outside. They're slipstreaming each other once again, trying to set themselves up for the part of the circuit where they're stronger. Matt Larby did his personal best lap last time through, 156.167, so trying hard to close the gap. There's Peter Mott, he's up into 8th position now. Remember, he started from the back of the grid in race 1 after problems in qualifying. Still side by side in the Druids. Charlie Lower takes the place back again, takes the lead back again. This terrific duel has been renewed from race 1. Took a few laps to get going. The Chiddicks coming through, and there was contact between the two of them, I think, there. Just as they went out of shot, they may have just touched.
Yeah, they definitely did. There was a little bit of misjudgment. We raced very close. There's only millimetres to spare, but it looks like it was just a bit of nose cone touching the rear wing, and no problem. This is a battle that's been going along for many seasons now, so it's great to see it continue in this 270, and they really do want to be side by side. But look, Matt Larby is now getting fully ensconced and back in this battle, but Chiddicks leads as they go through turn 1 this time. Quadlock in Charlie Lower in that second place, with Matt Larby looking down maybe the inside. Nowhere to go, it's too narrow.
Yes, side by side for the lead then, but that little touch lost them. They touch again there briefly, just banging wheels there. It's getting a little bit physical at the front of the field, and all this is playing into Matt Larby's hands, because every time they clip each other, they lose momentum and allow Matt Larby to close up in that 3rd place. He's taking the rest of the pack, Cook, Kendall and Roj Patke in with them. We're going to have 6 together for the lead, I think, before very much longer.
Just 2 laps ago, they looked like they were breaking away into a bit of a thing, but they decided they were going to battle each other rather than work together. And it means coming into this last 5 minutes of the race, we're going to get everything back together again, with Roj Patke there making this front 6 cars absolutely nose to tail. There's Charlie Lower back in front of Chiddicks as they head through Britain's. Matt Larby holding on to that 3rd place, but it looks like Rook or Cook wants that all back again, with Kendall just following on behind.
Here they come then down over Hilltop down towards Knickerbrook. They're still side by side. I think Chiddicks is going to get the move done around the outside with just over 5 minutes of this race to go. He's done so. They're side by side for 3rd as well. James Cook trying to make a move on Matt Larby. Can he do it? Larby goes out wide over the curb. Mark Kendall looking to take advantage. Remember, he ran 2nd early on. Rog Patke's not finished yet either. 6 of them together. Here they come up towards Druids. The leaders still side by side. 3rd place is side by side. Larby's held 3rd. Lower back into the lead once again. Now they bumped here, the 2 leaders going under the bridge a lap ago. They're not going to this time, but Chiddicks gets 2 wheels onto the grass. He could have slid into the side of Charlie Lower there. He holds it together. Lower's got the lead. Larby still 3rd, then Cook 4th. Kendall is 5th, and rounding up the top 6, Roj Patke. Marvellous stuff.
Larby did very well to hold on to that 3rd place. He was fully under pressure from Cook as they headed up the hill there into Druids that time through, but we are side by side once more. When have they not been side by side in this race? Chiddicks sweeping around the outside. He's going to have a run as they go down into Cascades. That's going to pull them clear of Larby, I think, as they go down here. In fact, Freddie Chiddicks has just absolutely sprung off the front of this. Charlie Lower now thinking, where the heck did that come from? He's got Matt Larby close to him in his mirrors now as they head off around the Cascades once more. This ever-ending left-hander as they head into this straight to the top speed of the course just before Island Bend.
2 more cars in this race getting false starts, 10-second penalties. Cars 51 and 71, Simon Arnold and Giles Perry there further back in the pack. So the leaders okay on that front this time. It is Lower from Chiddicks once again, side by side almost 3rd. James Cook throwing his car almost sideways there into the Shed Oils hairpin. He's trying hardest to get on the podium. Patke is up into 5th position. He's got ahead of Mark Kendall, who's gone from 2nd to 6th over the course of this race. Hopping the curb there, Freddie Chiddicks on the inside of Britain's. These 6 clear of Mark Jones in 7th, then Mott, Vincent and Rook round out the top 10.
Lower just locked his wheels up there into Britain's that time, and you can see that's lost him the speed up and over the hill. And even though the Chiddicks took that curb quite heavily, it's moved him back into the lead. And again, they swap once more. I'm not sure how many lead changes that is, but it's certainly quite a few. Matt Larby mirrors full of Cook once more in the Welsh flag festooned car. DPR Motorsport, Matt Larby going up there. Remember, he was in the Academy last year, doing very well, holding on to that 3rd place for all the hill over the moment. Decent there with that battle.
Looking further back down the order, this is Louise Deason. She's still in 18th place ahead of Ian Summers in the number 44. And there at the back of the field, there's the number 23 of Alan Bateman. Here are your leaders. Charlie Lower on the inside retakes the lead into Lodge. Chiddicks will try and get the cutback. Matt Larby still holding off everything James Cook can throw at him. Rog Patke up behind them as well in the pink number 29 car as well as the leaders side by side. Chiddick's up the inside, Lower on the outside. Just over 2 minutes of the race to go, so there'll be a couple of laps to go, including this one. They're still side by side. There's nothing between these two, but now the next four have really closed up on them.
Chiddick got squeezed onto the debris on the outside of this circuit there, but he did still have a momentum, and Charlie Lowe went very wide out of turn one. Again, he will definitely have triggered the track limit sensor there, so he needs to be careful that he doesn't get any penalties from that as they head round Island once more. This is a Ramsey battle. He looks like he's up with the paddle up. Mark Jones there just racing as they go down towards Cascades as well. But here is that lead battle. It's still Charlie Lowe somehow ahead of Freddie Chiddick, but everyone is back on the same bit of tarmac as we come down to the last minute and a half of this race.
6 of them line astern. Yes, so mentioning Ramsey there down in 15th, he must have had a spin somewhere out of our sight there, because he was just on the tail of this lead battle early on. Over the curb they go, particularly Chiddick's there on the inside of Britain's. Pat Key trying to close back up on Mark Kendall, who's just retaken 5th position. Over the top they come. Who's it going to be taking the lead? Chiddick still has the advantage. He pulled ahead there on the run over Hilltop. Charlie Lowe are all set to fight back. Into Druids is where he seems to be stronger, so maybe setting himself up for the final lap of this race. Incredibly close race for the Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship here on BARC TV. Up the hill towards Druids they go for what will be, I'm fairly sure, the penultimate time. Again, Charlie Lowe, strongest around the outside into Druids this time, and he's going to retake the lead again. That's about the 3rd time he's done that there.
Yeah, I can see them preparing the last lap board, so it's all going to come down to it between these same 6 drivers at the front there. The following two don't look like they're going to be able to do it, but Chiddick's back down the inside then of Lowe. Where does he want to be? Matt Larby having to protect heavily from Cook, who right on his tail there, wasn't he, as they head around up over Deer Leap and over the line, starting their last lap of this race.
Yes, James Cook was nearly pushing Matt Larby there through Lodge for the penultimate time. We're into the last lap now. Up the inside, Charlie Lowe just about hangs on to his lead. Freddie Chiddick's led at the line, but Lower up the inside. Chiddick's again, the lead change there before I finished reading that sentence, and now Larby at the inside. He's going to take Charlie Lowe, is he? He squeezes him to the inside. Lower's forced to hit the brakes. He's on the curb, and Larby's come through into 2nd place. 4th place behind them is Cook, while Matt Larby unleashing his finishing kick just at the right moment here, maybe. That
movement belies his experience. Remember, Academy last year, what a veteran's move that, round the outside. He had to use all the exit of Cascades, but he's heading in 2nd place now. Charlie Lowe back down in that 3rd place. A little bit of a gap to Chiddick, but Chiddick is holding on. Larby in 2nd. Then you've got Lower, followed by Cook, Kendall and Pat Key.
I liken it to a stage of the Tour de France. This is going to be the sprint finish. You've got to unleash your finishing kick right at the correct moment coming off the final turn. Lower bouncing up onto the curb there. Has he fired his move too early? He's back to 3rd place. What can he do? The clock is down to 0. Down they come towards Knickerbrook for the final time, and Chiddick, if anything, has broken slightly clear. Mark Kendall has a look on the inside. He's going to try and take 4th place away from James Cook. He's done so. Cook gives him room there through Knickerbrook. They head up towards Clay Hill for the final time. The two behind of Mott and Jones having a good battle as well. It's all for starting position for race 3 as well. They head up Clay Hill towards Druids. Can Freddie Chiddick hang on? He was penalised after taking the flag in race 1. Is he going to hang on this time? Matt Larby, a brilliant 2nd place, but Charlie Lowe is not finished yet. I think Freddie Chiddick has broken away just about enough here. They're jockeying for position behind. Charlie Lowe gets a wheel onto the grass. He gets 2 wheels onto the grass as he's squeezed there by Matt Larby. Lower up the inside to try to take 2nd place. He's done so, but it's going to be Freddie Chiddick. Oh, Lower makes a mistake through the final turn. Larby's going to go through. He might lose 3rd here as well. Chiddick is coming in to take the checkered flag. He takes the win. 2nd place goes to Matt Larby, and it was Mark Kendall who snatched 3rd. And Charlie Lowe, I think, has got 4th place. It was a photo finish for 4th.
Absolutely, he was squeezed there by Matt Larby, holding him to the inside, giving him absolutely only just a car's width. In fact, they did touch wheels as we see the rest of these field. There's a Gareth Lucas and Lancaster coming over. There's Ramsey where he ended up, and I think it's with potentially down here. A little bit further down the field, but yeah, that battle at the last corner was fierce, and I'm not sure Lowe is going to be particularly happy there, but he did drop to that 4th place as he went over the line, so not ideal for him in that final corner. We'll see whether they've got anything to say about that, but nevertheless, Larby in that 2nd place as it was classified. Chiddick's taking that lead though. A little bit of a comfortable gap at the end, wasn't it? Ahead of Kendall in 3rd place, and then Cook was in the 5th as well as Patke in 6th.
Yes, with everybody else squabbling there, Freddie Chiddick was able to get away through the final couple of corners. Gets it right this time to score his 1st win of the Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship Season 2023. Matt Larby, an excellent second place, and Mark Kendall provisionally snatching third on the line, just ahead of the unlucky Charlie Lower. It was James Cook in fifth and Rog Patke in sixth position, and a gap back to seventh of about 1.5 seconds. Mark Jones taking seventh, coming out on top in a battle with Peter Mott. Remaining top 10 finishers, David Rook came back to finish ninth, and Alex Vincent, a slightly quiet race for him, finishing in 10th.
Nevertheless, good movement up through the field there, wasn't it, for him? And well, Chiddick's from 7th place on the grid. We said watch out for him, and he certainly came through and delivered.
He certainly did, yes. He was fired up in that one after his penalty earlier on. No problem at all for Freddie Chiddick there. We move on to the Motul 310R Championship next, as the cars about to head back into Parc Fermé. We'll talk to some of them in a short while, I am sure. We'll get you the grid for race 2 for the Motul Caterham 7 310R Championship. A great fight earlier on, won by Lars Alexander Hoffmann, which means he will start on pole position.
So yeah,
race 2.
2 seconds for Larby in his first ever 270R race. He's going to be pinching himself to check he's not still dreaming in the Premier Inn back over there. So what a great result for him as he heads into that bit lower. Yep, I think Matt Larby might even be, keep it quiet, leading the championship right now.
Well, let's just have a quick look. Yes, the winner of the first race was Charlie Lower. He was fourth in that one. Chiddick has a first and 7. Yes, I think you're right.
So you can see the cars driving now into Parc Fermé. So hopefully we'll be able to go down to Sam in Parc Fermé, who will be seeing these drivers arriving. So yeah, let's hear from Sam.
Wow, what a great finish that was. Let's move over to Freddie, just taking his helmet off. Freddie, congratulations. First win of the season. What a race.
Yeah, a good race. It kind of makes up for this morning as well. Yeah. Nice to come back from 7th on the grid, and a good race up at the front there with Charlie and I. Yeah, really good race. Looking forward to the next one. Yeah,
Charlie just missed out, didn't he, there on that last corner?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened behind me, but yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Right, going to move over to Matt. Oh, he's still got his helmet on. I'm sure he won't mind. He's taking his time, taking it all in. What a great race, Matt.
Thank you, Kirsty.
We'll just wait while he's getting himself ready. Well done, Matt. That was quite close near the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, some hard racing. Some of these boys don't like each other, I don't think. I'm trying to stay out of it. It was good race.
You're just trying to keep out of trouble.
Yeah, I tried to.
Well, it was nice and clean from, start the car started in one piece.
Just about, yeah. We've got one more race to do, so.
Yes. Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you, cheers.
I'll move over to Mark Kendall in third place. Well done, Mark. That was a good finish, wasn't it?
It was hard work. I don't know how I ended up in third. Charlie had a little mishap, I think, on the last corner, so there we go. But yeah, that was a good race.
You were there ready to slot in, weren't you?
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay.
Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll head back to you guys in the commentary box.